was at home in outside of Nashville here, and I was actually out walking, just kind of exercise walk or taking it easy, and it was beautiful. Early fall morning, blue sky, just like it was up in New York and everywhere on the East Coast that day, and just relaxed, enjoying the weather and walking. He went back in the house, and that's when it was all on the television, and everybody was watching.
Where were you when the world stopped turning on that September day? Were you in the yard with your wife and children, or working on some stage in L.A.?
I guess like most people, I was just, overwhelmed with what had happened and distraught and everything else, and watching all the news footage and the stories, and just like everybody in the country and most of the world probably was just watching and listening to all the stories and the footage from the news that were, it was just so many emotions going on, and I think everybody felt that, and I was the same way. It didn't cross my mind about writing a song, and I've never liked to feel like music is, the real. I don't like to be real preachy with it. It's more entertainment for me, and I never feel like, that I'm qualified to try to write songs to save the world or anything. I've always thought, I never thought of music as much of as a medicine, other than maybe some broken heart medicine or something, but I don't know, I never really intended on writing anything, and I didn't want to feel like, I felt like if I sat down and just tried to make up something new, again, you'd be, like it wouldn't be real, and it would be taking advantage of a situation for your own gain or something. I never wanted to do anything initially. Well, I guess it was, I don't know how long it was after I guess it was a month or so, maybe after the 9/11, that this song just came out of nowhere in the middle of the night, and woke up and this whole melody and pretty much all the lyrics for the chorus were just there. And I got up and went downstairs in my underwear and put that down on a little digital recorder so I wouldn't forget it. I don't know, I could tell then it was just, I've had that happen before, but not, I don't know if it was ever so specific as this, but, and then I went back to bed, and I got up the next day and listened to it, and then I started writing the verses, and the verses were just, I started just visualizing all the things I'd seen and the things I'd heard throughout all this, and it was pretty much like I was saying earlier about all these different emotions and what people had heard and said and thought and felt, and I guess that's just where the verses came from, and even after writing it, I was, it just came out. It wasn't like, okay, I'm gonna write this song and put it out there and everybody's gonna react to it. I was reluctant to even do anything with it. And I played it for my wife, I guess, first, and of course she's pretty honest with me and about the songs. I always run them by her, and she felt like it was something really strong that people needed to hear. And I don't know, my manager and producer and people heard it, and everybody said, "Man, you got to record this." And so they talked me into doing it, and people still to this day telling me how much that song meant to them, or what at that time especially, how much it helped them through. Or and it's always funny that somebody would quote one verse that said that's exactly what I felt like, or at that time, and there was something in their life that was paralleling those lyrics, and they just I've heard it time and again from people, from just people that were just somewhere in the country, or either some of the survivors of the families that died, and some of the survivors at the Pentagon and the other planes. I've met a lot of those people over the years, and it told me so much how much that song has meant to them. And I guess that's been the biggest surprise for me is the longevity of it. I thought when they finally convinced me to record it, and then it was on the radio and people responded to it so well, I thought, well, this will be a song it'll kind of come and go, and you know, and it won't be something I can do in the show every night. But now I see people just waiting for it and expecting it, and I guess you know, the message is just the basic message is just from the Bible about the faith, hope, and love. It's just a age-old message, and it's still, I think it's kind of grown beyond the actual 9/11 tragedy. The song itself just has a message of hope, and that's what a lot of people like about it. Not long after 9/11, they did a special service at the Pentagon, you know, because a lot of people always just say New York, New York, but it's always, you know, the Pentagon and the airplane thing. It's all, I did a thing there, and it was a lot of some of the survivors and some of the victims' families, and that was emotional too. That was a tough one there, because I had them sitting right there with me, and some of them were still recovering, you know, from fire and everything. It was tough. So all of those have been very emotional. I've had a lot of when I play up in the Northeast, I've had a lot of firefighters and families that were part of that come to shows, and I've met them backstage and done special things with them, and they're sitting out in the audience, and all that is very emotional. In some ways, it was sad to see it took such a huge tragedy for people to really appreciate those guys as much, you know. And but that's, I've always said that's one of the good things that I saw come out of 9/11 was, you know, you turn on the news and typically it's all the terrible people and all the bad things, and you get to where you just think the world's a terrible place, and then 9/11 made me realize that the majority of people out there are good people, and you just don't hear about them, you know, and you heard about them then.